Lisa here. Let's talk about notifications. According to research at Duke University, the average person receives anywhere between 65 and 80 notifications on their phone a day. Now, imagine that you are part of a staff and you are all working virtually and you're also communicating with each other. So you have all these communications coming from clients, all these communications coming from each other, and all the communications and instances and notifications that are coming in general as a lot. And this was the case with my client, Emily. Her staff was super stressed because they always felt like they were about to drop the ball. They weren't, but they felt like they could at any moment. And one of the reasons that they weren't is because they were checking all their communication channels all day, all night. Maybe not all night, but a good part of the night. So they were never really off the clock because they were checking to make sure they weren't missing anything and that they didn't forget to do something. That can create a super high level of stress, which will decrease productivity. So if you're in the similar situation, what can you do? Well, the first thing that they did is they created a team communication policy, which basically is a fancy way of saying they said, okay, we're using like 8 different ways to communicate with each other. What if we narrowed it down to just 1 or 2? And then put some boundaries around what is expected with those communication channels. So like, do I have to check both of them all the time if I see the notification, but have finished work for 3 hours? Do I still go check it anyway? What does that mean? What does that look like? For this office, they're using Slack as their primary communication channel, but they're using text messages as a place for an emergency or the place where they want the team members to respond, even if it's outside of work hours. That has reduced the stress tremendously because they now know if I see a notification in Slack, it's not a big deal. I can check it when I'm working. But if I see something through a text message, then I need to check it because someone needs me, even if it's outside of my work hours. Huge reduction in stress, which then is a huge increase in productivity. And they're not worried about dropping balls from each other because they only have 2 places to look. I would love to know, what are your communication channels? How do you make sure that you're not dropping any balls? And if you're thinking, ooh, this might be one of our big bottlenecks, and you're not exactly sure and you want to check in, I invite you to take our productivity bottleneck quiz. It'll help you identify what exactly are the things that are holding you back and or holding your team back. So just go to impactivestrategies.com/free-gift and take your quiz.